As most of you can probably guess by my looks, my wicked charisma, and all the friends and collaborators that I've worked with since starting my YouTube channel, I was basically the king of my high school. I would walk down the hallway of my high school signing autographs, giving the quarterback of our football team some pointers on how to throw a better spiral, and rejecting several women asking me to prom because I was just too cool for all of them. And really, there's no need to fact check any of that. And especially if a guy named Jason reaches out to you and says that he bullied me in high school and pushed me down the stairs and stole my girlfriend and took her to prom, he's a big fat liar. And he ate his boogers in high school and he peaked. So he's not even, it's not worth listening to any random guy named Jason that reaches out to you about this. Anyway, some people didn't have as great a time in high school as I did, and that's something that I can't imagine, but it's true. Some people actually didn't enjoy their high school experience. Now again, I cannot relate at all. I was the king of my high school. I don't know if I've said that yet or not, but it's true. Some people didn't have as great a time. And so we're going to read some reviews from people who are not having a great time in high school. Dino Tristan 123 says this about his high school. Quite stinky. I really appreciate the brevity and clarity of this review. Short, sweet, straight to the point. Look, it smells bad in here. Frankly, this is an issue that this high school needs to address because it is hard to focus in class on your studies if it is quite stinky in the classroom. And then inevitably the school's test scores go down. And because of that, their funding goes down. And then they can't afford even the cleaning supplies they already had. And so the school gets even stinkier, which leads to even lower test scores, less funding, less cleaning supplies. It is a vicious cycle of stinkiness if they don't address this problem. Another short review comes from our friend Evan, who simply says this. I'm bored. Again, it's clear and short. I appreciate how clear and how short this review is. Evan, I would like to give you some advice. If you're bored, find something fun to do, like being the star football quarterback, or being the star basketball player, or being the star soccer goalie. I was all three of those things in high school, and I was not bored at all. Maybe try just one of those three. Again, there's no need to fact check this, just trust me. Next up, we have a 5-star review, but after some context, I think this is going to shortly turn into a 1-star review. Let me explain. Bethany says this, 5 stars, best high school, and I love it, except bullies. Hey, fair enough, Bethany. Makes perfect sense to me. The school actually responded to her review, and this is how they responded to Bethany's review. Hi, Bernard. I'm so sorry to hear about this. Do you see what just happened? Bethany was just bullied by her own school. Bethany was just called Bernard by her own school. Bullying goes so deep at this school that it even affects the administrators responding to Google reviews. This is a toxic school, Bethany. Let's look at another case of admin that has run astray. Cresendo says this. Worst school ever, teachers curse at students. So bullying again runs deep. Here we have teachers allegedly just shouting obscenities at students as they walk down the hall. You're just casually walking down the hall, you walk by a door, and your teacher goes, hey, cuss you. You're like, what the cuss? What the cuss did I do? This also could be a legitimate review for Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So maybe Cresendo doesn't mean that the teachers are yelling obscenities at the students, but rather that they are firing off literal curses at students, with wands and stuff. But I think the scariest reality is somewhere in between those two stories, where this is just a normal school with normal teachers, but the teachers all think that they're witches and wizards, and they have wands, and as the students are walking down the hallways, they are shouting Harry Potter curses at the students, even though it's having no real effect because, as we all know, magic's not real, right? Okay, moving on. We don't have to worry about if magic's not real. It's not real. I'm mostly sure it's not real. An interesting dynamic of any high school is the parents of the students that go there. So let's read a few reviews that have to do with the parents. Ellie, a parent of a student, says this, OMG. I was dropping off my son for this soccer game, and we had to go through their basketball court, and kids were smoking weed. I am so happy that my kids do not go to this school. This review where she misspelled the word smoking as somking, has 74 likes from other parents. Way to go, Ellie. You are Google Maps viral. You can picture this scene in your mind. She's trying to drop off her son. They have to go through the basketball court. As they walk through the basketball court, there are some kids there who allegedly go to this school who are smoking weed. And she is so happy that her kids don't go to this school. Totally. After all, wherever they do go to school, there's definitely not a single person who has ever even been tempted to one time even consider thinking about smoking marijuana. There's no way her kids could even get access to the drug, even if they really wanted to. It's impossible. Why? Because every student that goes to school with her kids is completely morally upright, unstained, pure, holy, righteous, with perfect mental health and perfect family relationships. All of them have high GPAs. All of them are being recruited by prestigious universities. None of them have ever done a single thing wrong. And they're more like angels than they are kids, right? So now on the other side of the parent-student relationship, we have KrazyKeith. And KrazyKeith simply says this: tried to find my dad here, couldn't find it. So I'm not sure why KrazyKeith was looking for his father at a high school. That seems suspicious at best, but evidently he never found him at this high school. Keith, I actually know where your father is. There's one place you didn't check. He is with his buddies on the basketball court. They are smoking weed. Okay, we got another review that involves substances. Manuel says this: it is full of white drug addicts that are just like the teachers. So I guess in this high school, drugs have overtaken everybody. It's not just a few random kids and KrazyKeith's dad on the basketball court. No. And it's not just the students. No. It's everybody. It's even gotten to the teachers. Every single person at this school except Manuel is a white drug addict. Manuel walks to his classes through a thick cloud of dense smoke. Everyone else has put their COVID masks away years ago, but Manuel still wears his in a futile attempt to not get secondhand smoke poisoning. We all just need to hope that Manuel can get himself out of this situation very soon, although I'm not sure how he will, because I don't think he's thinking very straight walking through that much smoke every day. Here's another student who is down bad and believes that he is the only sane person at his high school. Zfeliinx says this: 1 star, Galileo exists. The teachers at this high school teach, and the students at this high school believe, that Galileo was not a real person. But Zfeliinx knows better, and he's holding strong so far. Let's show him our support, as we also all believe that Galileo exists. That's right? Can somebody confirm that for me? Galileo was he was a real dude, right? I mean, we're not making this up. He's like a real person. He has a Wikipedia page. I'm almost positive. He has a Wikipedia page, right? Nobody's here. I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, here's a great review from our friend Jacob. Jacob says this: this is where NFL quarterback Matt Castle went to high school. The day he was drafted to New England Patriots, the high school congratulated him on their electronic sign. Now this review reminds me of my own high school experience. Not many people know this, but the Patriots actually also offered me a job coming out of high school. I turned them down in order to pursue YouTube. As you can see, it's going incredibly well for me so far. Some of my videos are literally getting tens of views. Tens. Honestly, my fame is getting to a point where I basically can't even go out in public anymore. It's crazy. Anyway, that's beside the point. The Patriots also offered Matt Castle a job, and since he didn't want to do YouTube, he decided to take it. Idiot. And the day that he took it, his high school congratulated him on their electronic sign. I bet he drove by that sign 50 times on that day. Probably meant way more to him than the millions and millions of dollars that the New England Patriots are paying him. Congratulations to Matt Castle. Finally, we have a review from Adrian that I'm going to have to read off of a screen because I cannot in any way try to memorize this. Adrian says this: I believe the teachers out this school received a very bird education. Adrian, I think this is a joke, and if so, I commend you for it. It is a very funny joke. Adrian, if this isn't a joke, please reach out to me. I would love to get you in touch with a specialist because I think you need help. If this isn't a joke, you have received a very bird education. A very bird education indeed. If you're still watching, I love you more than every single person at my high school loved me, and they loved me with an undying love. They basically idolized me. I was essentially their idol. And I actually have a confession. None of that is true, and I was not popular in high school whatsoever. I know that's shocking, but that's actually the truth. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you would like this video, it helps with the algorithm thing, I think. If you would comment on it, I love interacting with comments. I got some faithful commenters. I can't wait to say what up to my boys. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. See you next Friday with another banger.